Hi, welcome to RMWraps. My name is Miller, and we're in Coconut Grove, Miami, Florida. And what we're doing is we're wrapping these walls to make it look like wood. And we're using the Belbian material. And there's lots of steps to take for when you do wall wraps. And right here you can see how close everything is, tight. So we wrapped it from here all the way over there. We're doing 21 floors. This is another side right here. And this is day 2. And this normally takes 1 day to do this job because there's lots of prep work to get done. So this is the end results. We're gonna just do a little touch-up painting right here and then we'll be done with this unit. So if you're looking for something like this, wall wraps, door wraps, cabinetry wraps, or anything like that, let me know. Go to RMWrapsstore.com to see the products, the Belbian and Di-noc materials, also the prices and everything. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Alright, here's the tools that you need to do the wall wraps. It's the heat gun, the squeegee, and this is called the Betty from the old tools. Tape measure, spot putty, rubbing alcohol with a lint-free rag, and brush, sandpaper, and a bodyguard right here. I'm going to walk you all through this. So the first thing I do is I inspect the walls, make sure it's nice and clean. I have painters come in right before we install the wall wraps, and we use Zinsser guards. It's a clear liquid, and you put it on the walls. It makes the vinyl stick better. And then the day I start, when I come in, I make sure everything's completely smooth, and what I use is spot putty. That one right there, and it's a little squeegee. And I spot putty all the areas that have dimples or gouges and stuff like that. I need to do that one right there. You need as flat as possible. And so I do all that, and then I sandpaper it down. Next thing I do is I use my flashlight, and I go from the angle, the flashlight going here, aiming that way, and then I go along the walls, making sure there's no high rises, no things poking out, and it makes the job a lot easier. So when you're installing it, when you put the vinyl over it, you see that big dimple. Next thing I do is when this is drying, I start cutting to all the areas that need to be cut, most of them. So the big chunks, like these are the walls. When I'm cutting it, I usually add 1 inch on top, 1 inch on bottom, and this is where I'm showing you right here. So basically this is the top of that part right over there. And so I'm grabbing it, I put it up there. I use the tool, the bodyguard tool. So from there to there is 79 inches. From the cutting point is 81 inches. So I add 2 inches on top. And what I do, this is the corner. I cut the edge right here. Oh, another thing is I put tape all along the edges of the walls because the vinyl, when it sticks, I don't want it ripping the paper or the wall. The blue tape is not as sticky as the Di-noc material or the Belbian. So I make sure I cover all the areas up with that. Okay, for the double cut, see it's only double cut on one side. So I make sure this is actually going towards the left side of that wall where that blue tape is at, okay? Next thing I do is I do 1 inch up here and 1 inch down, or actually 2 inches down there, no big deal. And then what I call another one is I do a 2 inch or 3 inch, what's called a holding vinyl tape. So when I'm installing it, I put the vinyl on top of the wall, move it around, and then I put my knee and body to it, and then I remove the holding tape, I guess. So that's parts of what I'm prepping out. And right before I start installing it, I use the primer 94 all around the edges where the vinyl is going to stick. And right there, and around the corners, I did all the edges with the primer 94. And another note, if you're working in a moisture area like a floor that I'm working on right now, what I normally do right before I install like the vinyl, it's important to use rubbing alcohol, do the area you're going to do, and then I use my heat gun for just enough to know it's totally evaporated. The moisture in the air is pretty humid over here, so I want to use the heat gun. For instance, I'm doing here, right here. I'm going to use the heat gun right here and make sure all the moisture is out, and then I will grab that vinyl and install it. These are the steps I take to get everything prepped out. It's important to have a very prepped out station. I try to get as clean as possible, try to organize everything in one unit. I do a lot of it. If I know I'm going to do this all in one day, I usually cut most of the vinyl, and so I'm not in people's way. I do a cut in the morning time and get everything organized. And no, I'm not in the way of anyone going in and out of the elevator, especially around here. So everything is already pre-cut, most of them. The final details is the small stuff. But other than that, this is the way I prep it out.